What is up, Knicks universe? KOD Nation, stand up. And all you DJs, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to the debut episode of the Knicks Morning Brew. You know, the Yankee season is over, and we couldn't stop. You know, I had Jiggaman, he was like the devil on my shoulder telling me, we got to talk Knicks. We got to talk Knicks. And you know what? You're right. We got to talk Knicks. So welcome to the debut episode of the Knicks Morning Brew. I want to shout out the chat real quick. Stephen Fox is in the building. Congrats on a new show. Thank you so much. My man DS Dave Delano still Jr.'s in the building. What it do? And look at the YouTube, Knicks Morning Brew. And you know what? We had to do different right now. Like as I'm sipping on my cup, it has the word friends on the cup. Because we have friends in this world, right? So I'm about to bring in one of my friends, the co-host of the Knicks Morning Brew, my brother Phil Porto. What it do, baby?
What up, baby boy? How are you?
I'm chilling here, bro. Just chilling here, bro. Just excited for this new season and excited for this new show.
Me too, man. I appreciate you guys having me part of it. You know, like I'm a diehard Knick, and there's nothing else I'd rather talk about than our new season and our new team. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you, connecting, like you said, with different people that we have become friends with through the years, you know, like
yes, sir.
On Fridays and whatnot, and just kind of connecting. And obviously, you know, my big bro, you know, running a lot of these shows. So being able to connect with him and kind of take some jabs back and forth, you know, that'll be a good time too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And speaking of your big bro, you know, because he's been a brother to me as well since I've known him over this past little bit over a year. Bringing another host of the show, Jiggaman Porto.
Oh, snap. What's up, homies? Hold on a second. Listen, I tweeted it out. Okay, I get to hang out with my brother from another mother and my actual brother. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Yo. So excited for episode 1. We got Knicks talk. And how could I possibly go throughout the week without hearing you say, you DJs, wake up and get your coffee, and now it's for the Knicks? Let's go. What up, Steven Fox, VSJ in the chat, VSN Basketball? Guys, what better way to kick off a show than after your team is actually doing freaking solid? Listen, 4 games or not, let's freaking go.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Trippy OG in the chat, my man from VSN Basketball Station. You know, they got something cooking up real good over there. You know, we're gonna have them on. Of course, we're gonna have the open panel always on Friday. Let's talk about the format of the show, how we're gonna do this, because it's gonna be a little bit different from the Yankees Morning Brew, right? We didn't want to be too repetitive and sound like a broken record. So Jiggaman, if you want, let the people know what they have looking forward to going into the season.
Yeah, well, what I love is we're going to be doing the Knicks Morning Brew Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, right? You know, we're still going to have Knicks talk, so Yankees Morning Brew will still be Tuesday and Thursdays. But, man, I mean, we've got special guests lined up. We've got topics that obviously we'll be doing with open panels. We got a little bit of Trivia Fridays where you may or may not have to, you know, compete against some people like Jerry Ferreira. Jerry's helping out with a little bit of trivia on Fridays. Man, I mean, we got all kinds of guests lined up, which I'm really excited for. I mean, we've got Sean from the Knicks Wall podcast who will be tapping with us next week. We got Jack Settleman coming through next Friday. We got Jerry coming through. I mean, the best spot for us to just talk Knicks fandom and hang out, like that's what we're trying to continue to do, right? No different than what we did with Yankees Brew. But what I do love about our Knicks is we can plan this show as much as we want, but our personality fully relies on the type of season they have. So, ladies and gentlemen, soak this in. All right, this is the beginning of the season, and that's why I did this background, Hector, right? Because it's like that creepy, awkward door behind me.
Yeah.
So at any time if the season goes bad, it's like right?
It looks like the picture within a picture. If you keep zooming in, it's just a picture within a picture within a picture.
Bro, I swear to you, if one time I do this, guys, and there's something back there, I'm out. Okay.
You know, as long as it's not a clown, anything but a clown for me. Everything but a clown for me. But fellas,
you said that, and now I'm really looking, bro.
Yeah, Pennywise is gonna pop up. But fellas, Jiggaman, you said it, and I'll throw it over to Phil right after this. But the team is 3-1. You know, it's a different feel for this team than last year. Last year, the team started 5-1. Everybody was feeling good, but this 3-1 start is just totally different. Phil, what do you feel that's different about this team this year and Knicks teams from the past? What's your thoughts on it, brother?
Yeah, so I think the main difference between a 3-1 now and a 5-1 then is our 3-1 was reliant on like 2 or 3 people at max, you know, and when you started to see like Julius Randle start to struggle, or we lost Derrick Rose, unfortunately, we didn't really have much. Like our coaching staff hadn't really developed any of our young guys at all at that point, and we didn't really have anybody of elite caliber to step in for those 2 situations of the Julius crumble and the Derrick Rose, you know, injury. Now, if someone from our starting team, you know, starting roster were to get injured, we got depth like galore. Like we haven't even seen Grimes step on this, you know, on the court yet this season, you know? So we have pieces in place, and we got players that if Mitch isn't doing good, Hartenstein can come in and do just as well, you know? So we have opportunities to move things around to keep on winning, as opposed to before, without those, you know, pieces. As soon as those players had, you know, something wrong, it was a problem. But now you got guys like Toppin stepping up completely. And so it just continues to be something that we can bank on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, got my guy Jason from 16 River Ave, because Jason's a diehard Knicks fan also. You know, us DJs comes in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Hector, you know, Jason and I, if we were neighbors, like we would be the 2 guys that just grill together all day long and like complain about everything Knicks, Yankees, and Jets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Jason and I would be we in lock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yo, talking about this team from teams before, you know me, guys. It's always so hard to compare what we have right now to what we had, right? Because it's the NBA. Things change so much, right? We got trades left and right and all that. The biggest thing we can say, and I agree with you, Phil, is depth. And we can sit here, and it's been a long time. We were hoping we could say last year, right, with Kemba, we were hoping we were going to start the season and say, we got a point guard. Yeah. And we didn't run into that. We didn't get the Kemba that we all fell in love with, right? We got old Kemba. Right. Yeah. It reminded me of like the Bibby days, right? We got Bibby at the tail end of his career. We didn't get the Bibby that was Mike Bibby. Yeah. Right. And that was during the Linsanity stages and all that. But we can literally sit here 4 games in and say, yo, we got a point guard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My tweet the other night was literally 2 words: Jalen Brunson. That was all I had to tweet. You know what I'm saying? So that to me is the biggest difference. And when was the last time? Last year, we were hoping to see our young guys play. This season, we want to see our guys play. We know what we got in these young dudes, right? It's not like, let's see what we have. It's, yo, we got a squad. Let's roll. And I'm excited, man. Super excited.
When it comes to Brunson, right, and, you know, Leon Rose's godson, right? When it comes to Leon Rose's godson, DSJ said it perfect. The difference is we actually have a floor general with high IQ. And Jalen Brunson, people want to talk about nepotism, you know, bringing his father in, Leon Rose being his godson. Throw that out the window, because Jalen Brunson, he's earning his contract right now. Just the difference of leadership, the difference of professionalism. You see a whole different RJ Barrett out there because of Jalen. You see a whole different Julius Randle. Julius Randle has made a whole 180 spin. He just looks like a different man out there. Like, did Julius Randle find God in the offseason or something? Because something happened to him this offseason that he just looks totally different. His interaction, not only with his teammates and the coaches and the opposing team, but his interactions with the referees. He's not screaming at referees. He's joking with them. He's having conversation. This is what you have to do in order to win people over. And Julius Randle is doing it. Shout out to the chat. I want to shout out my man Bones is in the building. What is good?
What up, Bones? I agree with you 100%, Hector. You know, I mean, even if we just break down last game, right? There was a couple of chances. If you go back and watch, Jalen could have easily just taken a couple of extra shots if he wanted to. But that IQ kicked in, and seeing the way he was moving that ball around and making the right decisions, huge, man. So good to see someone leading and the assist like that. I mean, our boy almost had a triple double. You know what I'm saying? Like he almost pulled it off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The difference with him is that, like, a lot of times we've had an either or. Someone who could score, not someone that could facilitate and pass and assist. And in that fourth quarter, you saw that he can bear the burden of both. You know, like when we needed a three, it was him that was pulling it off. When we needed a great pass, it was him that was pulling it off. Homeboy had 13 assists in that last game, highest of his career. You know, like, when was the last time we had someone that not only cared enough to make that many passes, but actually did it successfully as well, you know, and it gets the ball out of Randle's hand. Randle is a different player. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's got Brunson there. Like, he can actually do what he does best. And we're not seeing, you know, double dribble like Randle. We're not seeing turnover Randle. Like, we're seeing a different guy, because the ball is in the hands of a guy who took, what was it, 4 games to get his first turnover of the season? Like, insane.
And to answer your question, Phil, right? It's been so long, right, since we had an actual point guard like Jalen Brunson. I don't even think any of the Land Before Time movies came out. That's how long it's been, you know, because those movies have been running forever. So that's how long it's been, like, since we actually had a point guard that's been this impactful like Jalen Brunson has been so far coming down the stretch. And I just want to start this out there, right? This is the debut episode, so let it be known out there. This season, everybody gets a clean slate. Everybody gets a clean slate. Julius Randle gets a clean slate. RJ Barrett gets a clean slate. Just clean everything. This is a brand new season. And I got to go to the chat real quick, because he said Cam is earning his spot, and he is absolutely earning his spot. Cameron Reddish, a lot of people were very down on him. You can say what you want. He didn't get his opportunity, and with Atlanta, whatever you want to say.
People were so quick. They were so quick to give up on Cam. You and I have had these conversations. Phil, we've had these conversations. Like, we were on the Cam train. Like, hold on a second. We haven't even had a taste of what Cam can do, and we felt like Cam could be a piece. So, 100% agree with Trippy. Cam's earning those minutes.
He definitely
and I was worried.
He made a couple of mistake turnovers, you know, here and there. But I think the kid's going to be a big piece for us if he stays healthy, 100%.
I was worried. Me and CJ were actually texting about it during preseason. You know, I was like, man, I really wanted Cam to, like, step up. And, like, preseason, he just wasn't, you know. And so I was worried, you know. And I was like, man, what's going to happen? You know, and I feel like Grimes sitting out these first few games has given him his second chance. And he realized that. Like, he is a different player right now on the court. Like, from his assists to his 3-pointers to the way that he drives with such force, like, people step out of their way. Like, we haven't had something like that in a while either. Like, a player that can come off the dribble and still, like, cause chaos, like, in the paint like that.
It's been a while for everything, Phil, and it's like this is what's so upsetting about the Knicks, right? The bar is so low on the ground, so close to the ground, that when we get little things from Cameron Reddish when it comes to his defense, right? Because that's the big point, right? His defense, to me, is what's going to be able to elevate him from that bench row to that starting rotation. I think Cameron Reddish, Evan Fournier is going to be the odd man out, right? If RJ Barrett starts knocking down those threes consistently, and you can move Cameron Reddish to that starting lineup, because to me, RJ's best spot is the shooting guard, not small forward. But if Cam Reddish can step up and become that 6'8" small forward who's a defender and a scorer, I think Evan Fournier is going to be the odd man looking out. Put Cam to the lineup, especially with Quentin Grimes coming back off of injury. We got a lot of good things in line.
I love how you say Evan could be the odd man out. Evan is the odd man out. Okay, let's be real. And obviously, again, we were hoping for more, right? And it's but you can't. We already learned last season. You can only rely on Evan every once in a blue moon. And it's going to be when everybody else is shooting garbage, then all of a sudden he becomes like this 3-point machine. If the team is doing well, he just doesn't find a place for himself. So, he's already the odd man out. And how great. I think we'll see a better and more comfort level from RJ at the shooting guard if Cam does fill into that 3. I really think that's going to be where we unlock RJ, because now he's starting to realize, okay, I don't have to try to do more. We got the IQ right there with Jalen Brunson that I can now focus on being that shooter and going and making that drive. So
Yeah.
sorry, Evan's already out the conversation for me.
And like Hector was saying earlier, everyone gets a new start. And unfortunately, Fournier can't ride on his success of his 3-pointers last year, breaking records and whatnot. Like I was hoping he would continue to step up. But what I've seen is with Brunson coming in, every other player has gotten better. Fournier has not done anything different.
Yeah.
Like I thought with someone setting him up instead of him having to like create his own shots would make him more of a sniper, but it's still the hit or miss shooter that he's been. And honestly, everyone's gripes with RJ, like, oh, he's not doing that great defensively. Well, yeah, he's also playing a lot of times players that are bigger than him or a little more powerful than him. If he goes back up to that 2 spot and he's able to, guard most shooting guards, you're going to see a different RJ Barrett defensively as well. So people need to actually look at all the factors and not just like what caters to them when they're going to talk trash on RJ.
Yeah, and also as well, Stephen Foxy brings up a great point. He said Cam is playing well, but he made a very huge defensive mistake on PJ Washington jumper. 100% agree with you, Foxy. 100% agree, but at the same time,
we owe that game to that foot. Okay?
Exactly.
That size 14
if he was wearing a size 13, it would have been just a little bit different.
Thank you, Sneaky.
My man, Worldwide Mayberry is in the building. Yo, Al, hold on for a few because we gonna have that link in the chat for people to come on so we can have a conversation.
We got topics for the panel.
Yeah,
today.
we got topics today. Al, just know that. But one thing I'm gonna say is that first 4 games of the season, not everybody is locked in defensively, when it comes to knowing their rotation, understanding, because, Jalen Brunson is a new player on this team, right? Isaiah Hartenstein, we do have some new players on this team. So not everybody is synced when it comes to like ESPN, like, me knowing that Jiggaman is going to do some certain things. So it takes time to to come into form when it comes to that defensively. It's not an excuse. They should be better defensively, but as the season progressed, I do think that this team will get better defensively. So far in the first 4 games of the season they played, with top 10 in 3-point shooting and with top 10 in defensive rating. So from that aspect, we're doing pretty good.
Right.
Yeah. And I agree
I also
you, man.
I want to point out what Bones said in the chat too.
Oh, go ahead.
Love how Hartenstein has been stepping up defensively. Right. I'm starting to like this guy a lot. I really am. I think he's showing that he can play. He's showing energy. And that, to me, as long as he's actually doing something and not being an extra body. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on Hartenstein, but I think it's pretty dope.
Yo, Al is crazy. Al, he's like, oh, my bad. I thought this was a Jets pod.
Hey, Al, we got that soon, brother.
Yeah, we got that soon. Okay? We got that soon,
Come
Al.
on now.
But Al,
but
Al, let me know in the chat. Al, give us a 1 to 10 of the chat, and shout out to Worldwide L and Hard Will from For the Love of the Game, because that's why I started at. That's why I started in this YouTube thing. That's why I met Jiggaman. If it wasn't for the Love of the Game and for Uncle Freezy, I don't even think I would have met Jiggaman and Phil. So shout out to my guys for holding it down from over there. But Al, let me know in the chat 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. What's your thoughts on the start of the season as well? Everybody else in the chat, let us know 1 to 10. What's your thoughts on the season so far?
Word. So can I switch topics for a second, Hick?
Go ahead, baby.
So on Mondays, I decided we should have a segment on Mondays. All right. And since we're talking about players on the team and everything, I'm very confident who I am. So on Mondays, you guys down to do a little bit of Man Crush Mondays? So, like, for instance, we were talking about Brunson, right? So if I want to do my Man Crush Monday, expect on Mondays, fellas, we're doing Man Crush Monday. All right. So we'll give you a sample how it goes. My Man Crush Monday, how you doing, Jalen Brunson? Come on. Through 4 games, averaging 20 points, 51% field goal percentage, 8.5 assists. I felt like this was a good time to talk about it because we were gushing a little bit about JB. You know what I mean? So Man Crush Mondays. But what I want to do with Man Crush Mondays too, I want to hear what the chat has for their Man Crush Mondays. And when we bring them up, let's talk about it. Any arguments, fellas, on who my Man Crush Monday of the start of the season is?
Oh, no arguments for me. No arguments for me. Brunson gets that. Oh, matter of fact, I'm going to put it back up there just because I love the start of the season so far. Yeah. Jalen Brunson, Leon Rose's godson, has been a godsend for us. We needed a point guard, and we needed it in a very bad way. I know a lot of fans, they're upset that the Knicks didn't go out there and get Donovan Mitchell. I understand that. Trust me, I understand that. But Jalen Brunson, he's not a bad option at point guard. You know, if he keeps this up, and if us Knicks fans, we get behind Jalen Brunson, we could get Jalen Brunson into the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
you know I'm all about breaking news, bro. I mean, it's official. Giselle files for divorce. Did you guys see that?
God.
I saw a tweet yesterday that said Tampa Bay Buccaneers hardest team they'll face this year is Giselle. I was like, damn.
What people got to know about this, right? Giselle, she's a crystal mommy, right? So she invested so much energy and time into Tom Brady. She's sucking all that life force out right now. Tom Brady is going. It's over for him. He messed with the witches. He messed with the crystal mommies. It's over for Tom Brady.
And welcome to the first episode of the Knicks Morning Brew.
Worldwide L said 6 out of 10, still a lot that needs to be done. I could say that. I could see that. But hey, one thing I know is one thing we could tell from right now so far, 4 games into the season, this team seems like it's going to be better than last year. And I'm 100% on board with that. When it comes to Julius Randle, 2 years ago when Julius Randle had that big season, he was an all-star, all-team NBA. One of the main talking points that these mainstream outlets put out there is that Julius Randle is not a number 1 option, right? On a good team, Julius Randle will be the number 3 option. When you look on our team, you got Jalen, you got RJ, and you got Julius. He fits into the perfect spot onto this team. We don't have a superstar, but we got 3 top dogs that could fight with the best of them.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And if you look, I think the hugest change of the start of this season is I remember me, Jiggaman, and Jerry talking about it on Knicks nights last year, was that anytime Julius Randle used to see another player get their shine in a previous game, you would see him kind of stingy with the pass or with the communication with that player because he felt outshined, didn't want to give any credit where it was due. The fact that already Julius Randle has said, the biggest part of this is that I can now just work alongside Jalen and like see him make me and RJ and everyone better. And all that matters is that our team wins. Like him talking about giving, like playing that role as like more of a backup player instead of being like the main guy. That's a huge change in him, which means he can start going back to the player that we saw him be 2 years ago, because that chip is off his shoulder, that needing to prove himself is off his shoulder. And now he's just like, I'm ready to play ball with a team. Never heard those kind of words out of Julius's mouth before. And
yeah,
so
but my concern, Phil, is do we see that all season long, right? It's easy to get excited off the first 4 games. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh, things are getting awkward. We got Zook in the building. Oh,
is there a pickleball game going on right now?
I actually have pickleball on my other screen, but all right, listen to this. I was watching pickleball on mute, but listening to you guys. So,
yay!
Oh,
our
God.
voices
Yay,
are more important.
Yay.
Listen,
Zook, I missed you last night, bro.
This is actually a show Zook can stop by on because he actually is a Knicks fan. And look, he's got his orange and blue on. You look so like accountant Knicks.
I was not a diehard Knicks fan until this year. The reason why I'm a diehard Knicks fan this year is I've been screaming for us to get Jalen Brunson for 2 or 3 seasons. Even listening to none of the points you guys have made has been wrong about like why the Knicks are where they are. Everything is right. The real only answer though is Jalen Brunson. Like everything else kind of is literally revolving around him. You just see the confidence, the control that he has of the offense. Like think about some of these point guards that we've had. Like when we were the 4 seed, we were trying out like Elfrid Payton. I've had conversations now like, yeah, we got ran out of the building against the Hawks, but if Jalen Brunson is on that team, how good is this Knicks team and how far away is the rest of this team from that team? He provides, he's a closer. His stats this year are not going to be any different than what they were when Luka was off the floor. And when Luka didn't play last year, Jalen Brunson was a 22-8 player who carried the Mavs, including in 2 playoff games against Donovan Mitchell, the very guy that a lot of Knicks fans have been crying that we got Brunson instead of. So I think this is a guy that when his usage goes up, he's the ball-dominant ball handler. He is a star. Is he a superstar? That's to be determined. But, hey, for a team that's been lacking, because I'm not calling Julius Randle a star power since Carmelo Anthony, this is a start, and I think this is a guy that a lot of people are going to want to play with after seeing what he does with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is where we get the change of, yes, Jalen Brunson is a star.
Yes, 100%.
If he keeps this pace, the team that we have a leader now that can help control amazing pieces that we have in place.
100%.
And I think this could be. And again, it's early, right? We're not going to be that show that's just like, oh my gosh, the Knicks are the best thing in the freaking world. No, we're also going to sit here at times and be like, what the hell are you doing, Knicks? Stop pulling your sister's hair, right? And we'll bug out and stuff.
It's a lot of passion, Zook. Like I said earlier with Phil and Jigga, it's this season, everybody gets a clean slate. Everybody, everything is clean. Whatever you did last year, cool. You want to hit a coach's iPad last year, cool, copy. You told the fans F you last year, cool, copy. You get a clean slate this year. And so far, so good during these first 4 games. Yes, there's a lot of things that needs to be improved when it comes to certain defensive schemes. Jalen Brunson is not quote unquote a superstar, but at the same time, he's that B level superstar, right? He's not that A+ superstar, that B level superstar. I could be happy with that.
Yeah,
look, if he's if he's a star for 90% of the games and then turns into a superstar for the last 2 minutes, like we've been seeing, it's the best contract in basketball. And for a contract that so many people have belied since it was signed, basically saying it was overpaid, in a year or two, and we see a star point guard is making $25 million a year, we're going to be laughing with the rest of the money that we have to build out the roster.
Yeah.
Brunson is David Wright. Sorry, Zook. Go ahead, Phil.
No, you're good. And what's crazy is what are we defining like a level A superstar? Like if we look at Donovan Mitchell's stats so far this season, the only category that he's beating Brunson in is in points. And it's by like 8 points a game. But when it comes to like rebounds, steals, assists, it's all pretty much neck and neck. Matter of fact, Brunson's actually ahead in assists. And that's what we needed. We weren't looking for just an elite scorer. We've had elite scorers before, and it's done nothing for our team. Like we needed someone who could actually run this team. And so if you look at the Cavs and us, completely different needs. Like we have scorers. Like we brought him so that Randle could go back to being an elite scorer, and not a facilitator. We wanted RJ to be an elite scorer. So the fact that he's only 8 points away from Donovan Mitchell, who's an A-list superstar, and he's only 8 point difference, but leading in everything else, I think that's pretty much the same thing. I feel like we won in what we needed. And I love Donovan Mitchell as a player, but I don't think that having him would have brought the same exact results. I felt like heads would have been a little more bashing with him and RJ and Randle as opposed to Brunson, who brings out the best in those players.
Brunson averaged 21, 7.5, and 4 in the 17 games that Luka didn't play last year. That's his baseline for me. Now that he's running the team full time, and if you tell me he averages 22 and 8, closing games and leadership, like that's a star at least. Could you be talking in New York? Somehow we get like a 4 seed. Maybe we talk him up so much he starts talking about like his Jalen Brunson. Like I'm telling you, in 3 weeks, whether it's warranted or not, there's going to be a segment on ESPN like, should Jalen Brunson be in the MVP running? I know that's a little bit of New York for you and overreacting, but I'm telling you that will happen with this guy.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. I'll take it. One thing I want to say is that the word superstar, right? That title of superstar has been something that has been beaten with a stick, right? It's a word that is used a lot in this business. like Phil said, what is a superstar? What's the definition of a superstar? To me, is Jalen Brunson, is he somebody that you can market your team around? No, he doesn't have the marketability that Donovan Mitchell has, right? But that's not what I'm looking for. Like Phil said, we're looking for a point guard, someone to stir the ship. We had so many other players who were marketable, who you could build things around when it comes to Carmelo, Patrick Ewing, Amari Stoudemire, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What we needed was a point guard. We answered that this offseason. Nepotism out the window. Leon Rose's godson is the answer for us at that spot.
So here's what I'll say, Hector. Move your chair for a second. Let me see that thing behind you. What is that right there?
Somebody more from Power Rangers. Don't make fun
of me. Bro. I don't need one superstar. I need the Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking for a squad that's gonna come in here and we'll be like, Morphin, yeah, and that's what I care about. So yeah. I'd rather have a 5 stars than worry about the one superstar. And we have pieces that I think Jalen's gonna make sure we elevate all these other ones to be those stars that they can be.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of, like, not comparing him as a player, but style-wise, like a Stockton, you know, that he can score when he needs to, but he is a great facilitator that a team can revolve around. Karl Malone would have never been the Karl Malone without a John Stockton. And that's the same thing we need in a Jalen Brunson for RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. And Zook, straight up, you're talking about the MVP. There's already, I saw something on one of the Knicks Facebook groups. There's already a poll out there that shows top 10 based off of these first 4 games. And number 8 was Jalen Brunson. So people are already talking.
Yeah, and like I said, if Knicks fans, if we get behind Jalen Brunson, right, if we give him our full support, Jalen Brunson can make the All-Star team in the East.
Oh, I think he would have to get injured to not. I just think with, like, the Knicks are going to be decent enough, and with his star power, like, he'll find a way to get in. Like, I think All-Star is a definite for Jalen. Can he be a star, superstar? And that's exciting because, you know, we thought we were going to get that guy with Barrett. Again, it's 4 games, and he always cooks during the second half of the season and struggles early. But this Knicks team is now RJ Barrett ascension away from being a somewhat problem in the first round of the playoffs. You guys mentioned it early. Brunson was a godsend for Randle. No longer has to be the number 1 ball handler. Him being the number 2 ball handler off pick and rolls is almost unstoppable. He's driving more. He's getting the ball inside the 3-point line. His game has elevated, not even for anything he's done, just out of force for having a real point guard on the team. So if RJ can get that efficiency up a little bit, is it a 3-headed monstrosity like some of the big threes we've seen? No. But it's the lucky lefty, big 3 that, you know, could maybe cause some problems for some teams in the playoffs if we're lucky enough to get there.
Yeah, I got a thing from the chat. In order for us to compete for a championship, we will eventually need a superstar caliber player or a franchise level player. I agree with you, DSJ, 100%. But allow Jalen, Julius, and RJ to lay the foundation that will attract that superstar to want to come to play with the Knicks. Not that we have to go and trade for that superstar. Allow it so that superstar can want to come to us in free agency. If we got to do a sign and trade, we do a sign and trade. But I'm glad, as much as a lot of Knicks fans wanted to get Donovan Mitchell, I am so happy that we didn't gut our team. We didn't gut our assets, future picks, et cetera, in order to get Donovan Mitchell. Go ahead, Jigga.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, and I'm glad you pulled that one up from DSJ, because the minute I saw it, I was ready to. It came out a couple minutes ago. I was like, "Oh, I got to do it now. I want to talk about it right now." I agree, but I feel that the best position we are in is where we are right now, because now we can actually sit here and let Jalen, let the squad figure out what we have, let them work together. Now it's not we need this specific person. We can find out what is the hole that we need. Not let's just go get some superstar just to get one, right? We get to now kind of sit there and see, do we need a better X? Do we need a better Y, right? So I do agree that we'll probably have to make a big move this year, but I also feel like we don't have to be in a rush to do it. We can hold on to our cards a bit. I'm just,
No, I feel you. I feel you.
Here's my thing with that. I'm a huge RJ guy, like diehard. And before the trade happened, and before even after it happened, before the season, I was like, yeah, like thank God we didn't do that trade. I really wanted to keep all those guys. I'm sitting here now saying, are the Knicks that trade away from legitimately being like one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference Finals? I know we love our guys, but like if you put Donovan Mitchell on what we've seen with Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, that team is like elite of elite. We've seen Philly struggle, we've seen the Nets struggle. Like again, I understand, but if we're saying eventually we have to trade for a star, it's kind of like why not Mitchell? Like seeing how this season started, like
yeah,
I've changed. I'll say like I've changed from not wanting it to not that I'm like, damn, we missed out on it. But if we did it, I think we'd be the best team in the East.
yeah.
To me, I don't think we would have the depth. I'm sorry, Phil. I'll throw it to you right after this. If we would have traded for Donovan Mitchell, you would have seen IQ gone. You would have seen Obi Toppin gone. You would have seen Quentin Grimes gone or Cam Reddish. Then you attach 5 to 6 different picks. It would have handcuffed us. It would have been the Carmelo Anthony trade all over again, and us trying to find veterans to fit certain spots. We already had young players too, right? So that's the only reason why I have hesitancy towards that. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah,
And
So first,
no, go ahead, Phil.
Go ahead,
you
Phil.
good. So first, the DSJ. Your initials after the last game driving me nuts after seeing what DS Jr. did when he got
this is that DSJ in the chat is the only DSJ we acknowledge.
Yeah, we're friends with that one.
We're friends with he's the only one we acknowledge.
Watching that made me furious. So anyway, secondly, like here's my thing. Am I saying that our team is ready to be that? Maybe not. However, like Hector said, we would have traded off a lot. And I feel like we would have shot ourselves in the foot because what we're seeing now from these players is massive development already working together in these last 4 games that we wouldn't have had if we traded off a lot of those pieces. Right. And so I think we need to go more so the Bucks route where Giannis was not Giannis in his first few seasons. It wasn't until contract extensions and player development that he became the monstrosity that he is now. We, for the first time in years, re-signed 2 players that we can now actually say, we believe in you, we're going to pour into you. And you've already seen Mitchell in these 4 games play a better game than he's ever played. And if we do this, then years down, like maybe 2 years from now, we get that Drew Holiday, added piece that makes us now pretty much unstoppable in the East, But I feel like if we did that too soon, or if we rush into that, Jalen would be insufficient in what he's currently doing. RJ would not develop, or he would be gone. Julius would not be the player that he's becoming. So I think we got to go a little bit slower than wanting to just get that all-star, like you said. Then we'd have a Carmelo situation all over again.
It goes back to last year, right? This is what we wanted to test out last year when we were trying to bring Kemba in and everything, right? We got set back a year with the Kemba injuries, not having that point. If we would have had Jalen last year to see what we had, right? We got to witness our youth last year. We got to witness RJ come into his own. Yeah. So to me, this is the next step in that growth process. Yeah. And Jalen Brunson is going to elevate us to that point. To me, I'm not ready to sit here and say this is the player or we need to make this move. You got to at least give me 20, 25 games to kind of see where we're at. What are our youngs doing, right? Because we know how the season goes. We're going to run into injuries. We're going to run into all of that. But I think what I wanted to see last year, we're getting this year. Yeah. With a point guard, with being able to sit there and say, now we really can evaluate our pieces. Now we can really see what we have with a Cam Reddish. We can see what RJ can develop into. Right? Everybody already is like, oh, he's starting off slow. I'm sorry. I counted a victory for me seeing RJ hitting free throws. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's already growth, right? He said himself, he left so many points on the board last year, right? So to me, that's already growth. And I think we're going to, by 20 games in, we're going to start to see that RJ that we all expect to see. We want a new Super Saiyan 2022-23 RJ. And I think this is going to be the piece that we get to actually see everything work together.
Yeah. And
and to the Cavs and the Jazz reapproach the Knicks right now with the same offer, the Knicks seeing where they are, they would do it.
No.
Why we shouldn't?
Yeah,
No.
I would.
We're
Because
getting loyalty for the
Yeah.
first time out of players that want to be here. Like for the first time, we are showcasing, hey, we actually believe in you, even though you had a rough season last year. Like we've never done that. We've always just shipped people off. Who wants to go to that? We could do the all-star thing and be the Nets 1-4 with a bunch of like superstars, or we could do what other teams have done that have been successful. Like look at Golden State. They have an empire even without Durant. But these are everyone else besides Durant who got shipped has been actually groomed in Golden State. Not immediately, but now they have this freaking amazing dynasty because they grew. They showed the players, hey, you had a bad season. We're sticking with you. Klay Thompson, you couldn't play for 2 years. We're still going to keep you and then even talk about extensions. Like New York's never showed that kind of loyalty to players until this year. And I think we need to stick to that. Like unless something obviously doesn't fit, like Fournier might be the trade, for end of season, next season. But I think we got something that we need to continue to pour into and not ship out.
Also, too, Phil, I want to add on to your point also when it comes to Golden State. Golden State took Andrew Wiggins, who majority of basketball expert had Andrew Wiggins as a bust, as he's a horrible contract. He's not going to be a winning player. They turned Andrew Wiggins into a solid championship wing player. He's a solid contributor on that team. That goes to organization and to good coaching, right? And I understand, with the Knicks, it's 4 games into the season. I do understand that three of the wins that we got were against bad teams. I do understand that. But the Knicks are in a spot where you have to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, like the Detroit, like the wins that we got. And then the game against Memphis, that was a game that we could have won that game. So we need to beat the teams we're supposed to beat. And when it comes to the Memphises and to the Milwaukee Bucks, we have to be competing with those teams down the stretch. Because if we get blown out by those teams, we're taking 10 steps back. We're honestly taking 10 steps back. And to Zook's question, when it comes to Donovan Mitchell, we don't know how Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson would have mashed on the court. We're not sure how that would have worked out. Jalen Brunson came from a situation where Luka was the dominant ball handler. He wanted to come to a situation where he's the number 1 ball handler. We see it right now in this Knicks offense when RJ is struggling or with Julius is struggling, like in the last game in the first half. Who was stepping it up and who was a consistent scorer for us? Brunson was.
Yeah. No, it's not. Look, there's no answer. I'm of the belief that Donovan Mitchell would severely raise the ceiling of this current team, and we're eventually gonna have to trade for a star.
Well, he's a free agent in 2 years. He's a free agent in 2 years.
I think it's
that's the season with Fournier's contract is going to be up.
Like that's so Knicks, right? That's so Knicks mentality. Like, oh, the guy's contract's up in like 2 or 3 years. Let's start. Like, to be honest, the one time we really moved everyone for a star, it worked out, right? That was Carmelo, and I see those years as a success for us. I think that was more organizational than the team that they were putting on the floor is the reason why they couldn't sustain that. Hector, he's talking on the phone. But no, maybe Mitchell isn't the guy, because maybe if you're telling me he's not good enough to be an A on a winning team, I'm fine with that. Like, I'll take that answer. But if you think he's good enough, I don't love the answer of let's wait to find someone else or let's see how these guys go. So for me, it's more of a Donovan Mitchell question and where you rate him as to if the Knicks should have made that trade or not. And I could be swayed that maybe he's not good enough to be.
But you see, but I don't think the problem is he good enough. The problem is the pieces it takes to make that happen. Great, we get a good enough, and then we have nothing to go around him, right? Yeah. Where we were able to do the Brunson signing and keep the pieces we want, even pieces we still don't want, right? We still have them here, like Evan Fournier, right? We don't hate you. He just doesn't fit the mold.
I get it. I guess I'm just so out of like let's keep like Grimes. Like, Grimes is nice. Quickly is nice. RJ may be good, but like Mitchell is like, I was looking at his numbers the other day. I think I personally underrated him just because I don't really watch that much basketball outside of the Knicks until this season. He's on the West Coast. Like, he's nasty.
Yeah. But here's
real
the thing,
good. And to the point we were making, like Hector just made, whether it's Mitchell or whether it's whoever, and getting away from the Mitchell trade, just a star in general. I love Brunson, the fact that Brunson played with Luka so much, because eventually Brunson can't be the guy if we're going to win a championship. So having someone who's comfortable playing that second fiddle and being able to play that first fiddle when he needs to will be super important. So it's nice to see that Brunson can play this way. And when we're in our final form, it's good to see that he played the Luka style as well.
Yeah, Zook.
Also, too, Zook is my fault, Phil, is that we have to build, right? We have to build a consistent team in order to bring that superstar here. Because we can go out there, trade for a superstar, sign a superstar, whatever. But if the foundation is still a mess, if like the foundation is still a shit show, what is the superstar going to do? Nothing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Phil.
And Zook, it's not about whether or not Donovan Mitchell's good enough. We all know that Donovan Mitchell is an elite player. It's if the pieces fit correctly for us. Like, if you look at the Cavaliers, they've been building, like Hector said. They've been, over these last few seasons, making smaller trades to build a team, recruiting good rookies, and building on those rookies. So who's he going side by side with, like in the front court? Darius Garland. Darius Garland's a very different player than Jalen Brunson. Darius Garland doesn't like always need the ball in his hands. He's an off the ball kind of player, more so than Jalen Brunson is. So you would be putting two of a very similar style of player side by side and not fitting any missing pieces. So him and Jalen, I feel like, would have been competing to do the same exact thing, which is facilitate and then score when necessary, as opposed to someone who is more off the ball so that one of those two can highlight. That's what's making Donovan successful so far and Jalen successful so far, is that they're not trying to be like, all right, for this play, you get to run the ball. Okay, next play, I'll run the ball. Because then it's confusion of whose turn it is to actually run the show and the other play second fiddle. So you need someone who's got that role. So I feel like if we build on those for this season, then start looking for next season for what's missing. Like, maybe we find it in the draft, maybe we don't.
No, I like that.
Because when you look at Cleveland,
counter to that would only be like, who did Donovan Mitchell play next to during like the seasons he had most success? Literally a carbon copy of Brunson and Mike Conley. So I actually think they could work really well. But no, I get what you're saying in terms of putting like Mitchell's numbers may have been good, but there was no success on the team. So putting Mitchell with a different style of point guard next to him, maybe Mitchell's numbers somewhat drop slightly, but all of his analytics go up. The team is much better. The team is able to have so much success. So I get from that standpoint, not worrying about so much Mitchell, the player, and who you're going to put around them because if I'm saying that Jalen Brunson is Connolly, if our ceiling is the Jazz, that's first round losses.
Even Stephen Fox. He has a good take here. Brunson has been a revelation on offense, but he gets beat consistently on defense. Yeah. A Donovan Mitchell, Brunson backcourt would be incredible on offense and invisible on defense.
That'll be the problem with RJ in that trade, because RJ we can hide Brunson on defense with RJ, because we even saw with Ja, we were able to put RJ on him. So that is a great point where we're talking offensively, but what RJ does defensively, and maybe one of the more underrated things in the league, I think he's going to be first team, second team, all team defense pretty soon with the way he plays.
But the trade just wasn't going to happen.
1 second. We got Jay Boogie backstage connecting right now. So as soon as Jay Boogie comes on, we're gonna let him in.
Awesome. Yeah. So Zook, it's mostly what we would have had to give up. That was the big thing. Like, we would have stripped way too much. That's it.
Jay Boogie, what it do? The voice of the Knicks Nation is in the building. Jay Boogie.
What up? What's good, brethren? How y'all doing, man? Shout out to y'all great men, man. Let me give y'all flowers for everything y'all been doing, man, for this, this beautiful Yankee season. Even though it didn't, finish off how we wanted it, it still was a great season,
Yes, sir.
Now we know what we got to work on and come back, to get prepared for that. So shout out to y'all great men for doing that. Shout out to all your people inside your chat, rocking the pinstripes, rocking the orange and blue, rocking the Jets, whatever you rock with that got an NY on it, you know what I'm saying? Salute.
Let's go. As long as it's got that NY.
Exactly.
Boogie, that's it. Why do I feel like every time Jay Boogie speak, like that's it? Right after it's done, you should just drop the mic, end the show. Thank you for tuning in.
That's what Jay Boogie does, bro. He's the closer for a reason. He's the originator of the salute 3 capital S's. That's where I get it from. I get it from Jay Boogie. And like I said, Jay Boogie, he's the voice of Knicks Nation. What Fireman Ed is to the New York Jets, that's what Jay Boogie is, if not more, to the New York Knicks. There's been so many times, Jay Boogie, that you've been on lives, whether it's on panel shows or whether it's Knick Fan TV, that people go out of their way to say, to let you know how much you mean to them. And it's true, Jay Boogie, you are a voice of reason that us Knick fans we actually need during the season.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I just strive, you know what I'm saying? It's always somebody out there in that world that's, you know what I'm saying, feeling a little bit down. So I always try to make sure, you know, I can say something to try to lift them up or give them the right spirits to let them, you know, lead towards the right direction. Because we all go through things in life, but it's not about what you go through, it's what you can get through. And I know me personally, I, you know, got through a lot of things. So I got a little experience about how to get through certain things, and I try to share it with other people and just let them know, yo, we care about you. We got love for you. Just know we root for you. Don't give up on yourself. Just continue on prospering and being the person to be the best you that you can be. And don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody stop you from your dreams when you wake up off that pillow. You know what I'm saying? Just be the best you, you know what I'm saying? Always know and remember that you're your own roadblock in life. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to just let people know, you know, coming from my background, you know what I'm saying? If I can make it through, man, anybody can make it through, you know what I'm saying? So I try to just share that positive wisdom to each and everybody that's listening. You never know what somebody's going through in life.
You see, he did it again. That's it. Peace. We out.
But we got a little segment here, Jiggaman, that we got. It's called the Knicks News, right? When it comes to the news for the Knicks and stuff like that. So we're going to play a little bit of something. And then we're going to talk about it when it comes to the Knicks News as the panel here. I got people backstage. We got Worldwide L and Triple OG. Bring Trippy right here, right now.
Trippy.
Mazza, it says that you're not connected, Mazza. If you can try to reconnect, Mazza, I'll bring you back up. And then we got my brother Worldwide Mayberry in the building.
Al?
Chef Mayberry, what's good, Al? All
right, so
how y'all gonna leave y'all brother at the door, knocking on the door for almost an hour trying to get in the door? What kind of nonsense y'all on?
You ain't right.
What kind of nonsense y'all on?
What's good, Al? What's good,
you right
Al?
on time. I'm hungry. Right there, I'm hungry.
Look.
All right, so check this out. This is how we're going to do the open panel these days, all right? We're going to start off with this. All right, so we're going to talk about what's in the Knicks news, all right? So let's start off with this topic right here, fellas. Julius Randle and the Knicks fans mending relationships amid his success. Let's start with you, Worldwide L. How you feel about that? Are we all accepting Julius? Are we back in love with Julius? What's your take? We give him an hour knocking on the door, and now
he want to be frozen. Oh, there he is. There he is.
I don't do this for a lot of people, but I'm gonna see if I can get a treat for y'all real quick. You know what I mean? Due to the fact that this is my bro's first Knicks show, I'm gonna see if I can get the Baldwins. I got the Baldwins at the job. Y'all know who the Baldwins is, right? So I'm gonna see if I can get them on camera real quick for y'all.
Okay,
look. That's the movie production behind me.
Go Knicks.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna see if I can snatch up one of the Baldwins for y'all.
All right. Well, we got Foxy in the building. Stephen Fox, what it do?
Hey, congrats, fellas. I'm so proud of you. Had to stop by to show my support and my love. And you were talking about a man crush before. A lot of people know behind the scenes I've had a bromance with Hector for a long time.
All right, that's it. I'm going to make a new graphic right now for Foxy.
Oh, I love all you guys. I'm real proud of you. Can't wait. I love having great, Knicks content developers doing great stuff.
Copy. All right, so for the question,
shout out to my guys too, by the way, Jay Boogie and Worldwide L and everybody in the chat.
Yes, all right, so until L gets situated, we're going to start the question with Trippy, and then throw it over to Jay Boogie and then Foxy. with the start of the season, do you think that the relationship with Julius Randle and with the fans is being mended right now? Start off with Trippy and then go over to Jay Books. Go ahead, Trip.
Honestly, y'all can hear me, right? Everything good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Everything's good.
Honestly, it's growing. Like, we still holding him accountable, but we like the new him. We like the fact that he's being himself. We like the fact that he's being true to what he is, but his mental is on point. I like the way the Knicks are actually broadcasting him throughout the season so far. It's like, instead of keeping us on the whole basketball player of Julius Randle, it's like, let's actually give us, like, the fans a whole deep dive into the personality and lifestyle of Julius. Like, let's see what he has to endure. Let's see what his day-to-day is. Like, it's more so tap into that so we can understand where the laps might have went. But if he keeps this up, just play good basketball, give the effort, do everything and do all the intangibles that RJ stated in almost every press conference, we good to go. We ain't got no quarrels with you, bro. We just want you to play. That's it. Just play.
Facts.
Solid take right there. There we go, Trippy.
Jay Boogie, go ahead. Let us know what your thought is about Randle. And also, too, you had a little one-on-one conversation with our guy Randle. So let us know, the start of the season, Randle's relationship with the fans, how it's being mended. And, if you want to speak on that conversation you had with Randle, go ahead, Boogie.
Well, let me just go ahead and share with everybody, that's tuned into your show, and anybody else that's watching, and just let them know, on home opening night, Jay Boogie took a Jay Boogie turn, and I wound up being in the back room with the families and everything like that. I talked to Derrick Rose, brother. I talked to Deuce. You know what I'm saying? I talked a little bit to Mitch. I was puzzled by him. I should have got a flick and everything with him, but Mitch had me like looking like, yo, like really what's going on? But then I saw Julius and I told Julius, yo, do you know who I am? And I said, I know you don't, but I'm Jay Boogie. I wrote the myth. He was like, oh yeah, I appreciate you. He said, hold up for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Let me talk to my family. His people's, he need to go holler at his family and everything. So I, mingled with Spreewell, you know what I'm saying? And I was back there for about 20, 25 minutes. And the security lady came on, I did my trick move on him and everything, you know what I'm saying? I had my VIP section. I turned it around backwards, you know what I'm saying? I did my trick move on him and everything. But she came, doing a good job as the lady is, scoping him, noticing things. And she came, she was like, excuse me, who are you? And blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, I'm Jay Boogie, I just, turned, and I didn't know I couldn't come this way. So I just felt like, I was, okay. And she was like, no, you can't be back here. And Julius came, and Julius said, nah, mama, he good, he with me. I got him, he with me. I got him, it's okay. And she was like, nah, he can't be, mama, I got him, he good. So when he put the press on her, she finally left me alone. And I said, Julius, thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. I said, what you got going on, man? I said, you looking good. He was like, yeah. He said, I appreciate the song that you did for me. I said, yo, I got another song. It's called Let's Do It Again, but I didn't put it out last year because of what happened, you know what I'm saying? He told me, actually, yo, you can go ahead and put that song out, tell the people, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to turn up all year long. That's what he told me. He told me, you know what I'm saying? So Julius is on a mission right now, you know what I'm saying? He's feeling good about himself. He's playing hard. He's giving the effort, you know what I'm saying? He's being a team player. He's not rocking with the referees like he did as much last year. He's just, he has a different, morale about himself coming into the season. And across the whole board in the New York Knicks, the squad, nobody wants to be said or mentioned that they're the ones that messed up what we got going on this year. So everybody's on their best behavior, you know what I'm saying? I say, you know what I'm saying, let bygones be bygones. But yeah, still in all, you have to prove it to us. We all New Yorkers, we know that, you know what I'm saying, what happened is what happened. You got to, change our morale. But us New Yorkers, we just want the best for whatever product we got right now, you know what I'm saying? So it's good to see everybody bending, you know what I'm saying? And like my man said in Scarface, you know what I'm saying, like he told Manny, yo, you remember, I like to forget. You know what I'm saying? So I won't forget what happened, you know what I'm saying? I hope everybody else, because they ain't going to do nothing but hold the season back for the team. We can all move forward and be successful and happy, you know what I'm saying, about the squad. Everything going to just grow in a bigger, bigger love. And we got the biggest love it is, man.
100%. I want to get Foxy's take on it. Foxy, same question going your way when it comes to Randle's relationship with the fans being mended. What's your take on that before we continue with the next question?
It's too short of a sample size. I'm really into body language and studying players. First of all, what you said before, I agree totally. Slate is clean. He's played well. Jalen's putting him in his spots. But the one thing I know about Randle after a year or so is his trigger is stress. So at the end of games, watch his body language. And I was worried he was going to lose it the other day. So I'm worried that under stress, he's great. But in the last 5 minutes of a game when you're closing out, and it could be enhanced because he's exhausted because of Tibbs' minutes management. But I'm worried that a bad foul call, a missed foul shot will be the trigger for the bad behavior coming back.
Yeah. It kind of like I know exactly the moment you're talking about, Foxy, right? When he gave that nice elbow, he was
exactly
the foul call, and it's like that mental awareness isn't there at the end of the
game's
game.
on the line. You can't have a foul like that. So I'm hoping that
I can't get them guys because they on the set.
Oh, all good. It's all good out.
I hope Jalen is a stabilizing force and stuff, but I just saw that the other day, and I like Jigga just said, and I said, oh shit, when these are bad teams, what's going to happen when we play a really good team in crunch time? Jalen, he's magnificent, but he's not a magician. He's not going to be able to change that guy's triggers, man, and he can't take stress.
One thing I gotta say real quick, Jigga, is that I think we could all agree. Worldwide L, whoever is your cell phone provider, you need to let us know who's your carrier, because the reception and service that you have right now on StreamYard outside, you are connected to the CIA Wi-Fi. Something, bro.
What you heard?
Nothing. Like, his service is crazy.
He's like, oh, I'm on that Baldwin Brothers Wi-Fi. That's what it is.
Exactly.
You know how they be on it, right? You know how they be on it.
Yeah.
You already know how they be on it. But I don't know where they at. But that's their trailers and stuff. But I don't know. They filming, so they inside. So they filming right now, so I can't get them.
All good, bro. All good, bro. But Al, I wanted to get your take on it, on the question when it comes to Randle and his relationship with the fans at the beginning of the season. What's your take on it? Is it mended? Is it still something that needs to be worked on? What's your thoughts?
All he had to do all he had to do was what he's doing this season. Come out there and play ball. And then the fans have never had a problem. He would have never had a problem. We said that the day after he put the thumbs down. If he had came back and had a good game after that, all would have been forgotten.
Yeah, facts. Look, if we're watching Randle and he's not yelling at our team and his teammates, I'm happy. He giving us effort. We good. How about the next topic, Hector? What we got on deck?
I'm going back inside. I know my connection is bad too, so I'm gonna let y'all guys go.
Take care.
Thank you for stopping by, brother. Love you, my guy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Give Bo a kiss.
This man said his Wi-Fi wasn't good. Did he not realize he had crisp, clear Wi-Fi that entire time? Come on now.
He had CIA Wi-Fi. But the next topic is the Knicks pick up options on Quickly, Toppin, and Grimes. All three young players, their fourth option or their rookie option was picked up. I'm going to throw it over to you, Jay Boog, and then throw it over to Trippy and Foxy. What's your thoughts on the Knicks finally starting to pick up their options on their young players and actually investing in them going forward in the future? What's your thoughts, Jay Boog?
Man, I love it, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying? You're rewarding the guys for being who they are. You telling them that, we know you got game, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to go ahead and, eliminate a little bit of situation. At the same time, we're going to start figuring out how much you deserve now. But you know what I'm saying? When they come through, you got to prove yourself. They don't prove themselves that they being good basketball players, but how much they're worth, that's for them to figure out. And them guys are doing a great job by letting them know, you know what I'm saying, my value is worth something in this league. And I love to see how the organization, we starting to take care of our home, you know what I'm saying? Stop worried about so much of what's going on with the other people's franchise and they put money out to them people. Take care of our own and let our own build and let our own develop so we can have a promising future, you know what I'm saying? Like I look at like Orlando and all them type guys, they get their young guys, they put them out on the floor, you know what I'm saying? They got a bright future ahead of them, but they don't have the same presence as we have. And all we need to do is continue on believing in our young crop and keep putting them on the floor and let them get more and more experience, you know what I'm saying? Reward them for who they are, and they're going to continue on prospering their game. I love the situation to see them guys because, you know, when you come into the league, you have a chance to prove yourself. You know, just a quick turn like Danny Dimes for the Giants, you know what I'm saying? He hasn't proved himself, but now that's why he didn't get no bread. But now he's proving himself, so they probably going to do something with him. But them guys on our team, they proving themselves like they really belong in this league. So yeah, you go ahead and reward them something. So next time, you know, you're gonna figure out how much you deserve the next time. But man, I clap for the celebration of our organization. They're getting things together, man.
It's like a whole new world, right?
Yes.
When we signed Mitch Robinson, it was a whole new world. It's like, hold on a second.
Yes.
We investing in our own?
It's Aladdin, a whole new world. Go ahead, Trippy. Same question headed your way to throw it over to Foxy.
The whole world go crazy. I'm just saying, I go crazy. But honestly, I look at it like a good thing. Just like Jay Boogie said, you know, these kids, they've been doing what they had to do through, you know, ups, downs. They stay true. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that we did that. But I look at it in a different realm. I look at it like us picking up their options kind of freed up the way to actually keep Cam here because we actually didn't extend him. So if we want to throw him a bag going into the offseason or maybe somewhere along the lines when that day comes, by going ahead and locking up these kids now, not having to worry about when their contracts are over to pay them. You lock them up, you keep them there, they tucked, they here. So you got an option where if you want to trade them off, you can. And if you don't, you still got them. But with the Cam situation, like I said, you can go ahead, you can toss him a bag. And then, like I'm saying, when you add all that in, and then you see Evan Fournier dropping 14 points the next game, it's like, all right, Evan's out the door. Cam about to get the freed up money. We locked up the kids. We good to go. So it looks like we kind of got a plan of what we want to do because us picking up those options so fast was like, all right, something's brewing here. So,
yo, Trippy, you just said something mad crazy. You said the Knicks have a plan. What?
They have a plan.
Like, we got a plan, baby.
They're not looking at it. They're not reading between the lines. Like a lot of people stay focused on what they are just, okay, this is what they're giving me. No, bro, you got to read between the lines. When you listen to a player at their interviews, you got to listen to certain things they say. Like they're telling you what's going on, but they're professionals. They can't tell you everything. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta read between the lines, man. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. Foxy, same question headed your way, and then throw it over to Phil afterwards.
Yeah, just putting on my GM hat, it was a financially prudent move to sign those guys. You know, when you have Grimes making $2,385,000 picking up an option, that's chump change. $4 million for a Quick, you know, 6.8 for Obi. You know, that's really a prudent move. You know, just makes them even more attractive in packages.
Yeah, 100%. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, man. You know, so it's crazy because for years we've either done the superstar route or whatever. And I feel like we're starting to actually use wisdom, you know, that it doesn't have to be an either or kind of situation. We don't have to be on this side of the pendulum where we're just trying to get, you know, that star player, or this side of the pendulum where we're not doing anything, just recruiting and then trading. I feel like we're actually starting to use wisdom and see the big picture. Picking up those options, like Foxy said, it's wisdom. You know, we get good players that we've been pouring into. We get to see where they go. And then if it works for the future of our team, then we'll give them another bag when it's time. And if it doesn't, we lock them in for a decent rate and we can use it for trade when we need to. So it looks like the office is finally starting to like use their whole brain and not just use their money. And it's a good sign. It's a good sign for our future and not just our present, which the Knicks have always been for years, just looking at the next 2 years instead of the next 10. And so I think we got something going.
Yeah. And it's a multi-year process to, you know, for talent assessment to understand their floor and ceiling. And with the minutes, you know, you have, you know, Brunson playing 34, RJ playing 34, Randle playing 34. So for the young kids, they're not going to get the burn. So it's going to take a couple of years, and we have a great contract on our side to see where their talent level is.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. Zook, you got a take on that when it comes to the Knicks picking up the options for the young boys?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of what Trippy said. Like, there's different things that you can do with it. I almost think that, look, maybe I'm a little bit tainted by the Knicks in the past, and I don't know if the Knicks have a plan per se, but I think with the amount of outreach that they got from other teams on these players that we saw this offseason, I think they realized, oh, hey, other people think they're good, so they must be decent. So, it's like, hey, people reached out about IQ. Let's have another year of control of him because that makes it more appetizing to trade him at the deadline for a star. Same thing with Obi. It really increases their value for what we can do with them in terms of assets, even more so than for our team, I think. Because like I said earlier, are those guys all nice? Yes. Those aren't the guys that we're counting on to become superstars to change this Knicks team. So it just opens up that flexibility for a whole other 12 months. So if we do have a plan, follow along with it.
Yeah, and like I'm a turkey back off of Foxy when he said that, and off of Zook. They're commodities, three NBA commodities that they only cost $12 million. So if you got three players in Obi and Grimes and then Quickly, all three of them are solid contributors to a 15-man roster, a 10-man rotation, and they only cost $12-13 million. That's a solid get for the rest of the season, especially when you have players that are making $20, $18, $25 million as role players, and you got three young role players at $12 million. That's a great thing to happen. Great thing to have. I want to throw this up right now just to switch the topic. It's a little kind of like TMZ-ish, but
matter of fact, it's actually from TMZ. Lala Anthony says Knicks trade for Carmelo is what led to the demise of their marriage.
When it comes to that, I'll
do we even want to talk about this topic?
No, I'll just say, real quick, for me, it's a thumbs down. I can't blame it on New York. I just blame it on just the nature of relationships when it comes to when you're married to an NBA player. You got certain NBA players who are loyal to their partners like LeBron James and stuff. And then you got certain guys like Carmelo Anthony that just live the nightlife. They're in New York City, whether it's New York City or LA. It's just a part of the business. I'll throw it over to you, Trippy. What's your thoughts on it? And throw it over to Bugs right after.
Say that one more time. Yeah, I went in and out my side. My side, everybody just got stuck. I was like, what just happened?
No, but with the reports that Lala Anthony says the Knicks trade for Carmelo Anthony is what led to the demise of their marriage. What's your thoughts on that real quick? And then throw it over to Bugs.
I'm going to be honest. That sounds like some young and dumb phase of their marriage because the fact that you're in New York working, why wouldn't you want your partner to be closer to you, knowing that they already have to travel around the whole city? So that right there, I think they're taking what she said in her younger days and just rebuttling now. So I'm not really too feeling.
Agree. Go ahead, Jay.
They good.
Go ahead, Bugs.
Should have just played your position, honestly. That's what you should have just did. Just keeping it all the way real. I remember Cookie, back in the days was enlightening, like, Michael Jordan wife, about, it's going to be times when all this is going to go on and everything. But, I got to be grateful for who I am. I'm going to stick by him or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, you don't even have a name without this guy. And I'm not saying that, whatever he did was right or wrong because I don't know the situation. But, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can just figure out how to work things out, you know what I'm saying? When they've been together for this long period of time, I like to see it work out, man. But stay out of the media and stuff like that with it, you know what I'm saying? Stop trying to get, publicity pointed at you and everything, you know what I'm saying? Because your name came from that guy, you know what I'm saying? We all seen you at the Dome, at the championships.
It was almost like it was clickbait, right? Let me see. How can I put a sentence together? Knicks,
I ain't got too much for them, but come on, La. You ain't doing nothing. You're playing ugly roles on TV. You get banged all over the place and everything on these shows. Come on, get right, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's a book that's coming out, so that's why it's big right now in the news. Fox, what is
DSJ dropping it.
Yes, no
wisdom.
Exactly. I thought it would be the infidelity. Absolutely, DSJ.
Well, there's so many other topics we could have pointed at.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Foxy, real quick, thumbs up, thumbs down. I know you're probably not a fan of this story.
Yeah, not a fan of the story, but I agree with you. When you marry an NBA player, what the hell you expect? And B, did you ever see her act? So Boogie's right, man. She would be nowhere without that last name. Yeah. And she got some ugly titties too.
Hot take.
Well, that was on Foxy. We got to cut that out. That was all Foxy.
Oh, sorry about that.
Man, shout out to the young woman wolf, man.
But let's just talk about this last one. The Knicks Suns trade. It features Derrick Rose for these rumors. I'll throw it over to you, Jay Boog. What's your take on the rumors with the Derrick Rose situation? The Derrick Rose trade to Phoenix. What's your thoughts on that, real quick?
I saw it. You talking about for Crawford and the other point guard that come off the bench. I saw it. It can help. It cannot help. I don't know. But Crawford is a tough, tight, gritty player. You know what I'm saying? Where we're still unsure at the three. You know what I'm saying? You talking about somebody that could play D, who ain't scared, ain't going back down, and knows his role. And coming into a spot where we don't have a role, that spot is still open for grabs. Even though Cam is coming along a little bit, but we're still unsure. You know what I'm saying? Sooner or later, you're gonna have to move on from these elder guys. I'm glad to see Rose. You know what I'm saying? He's taking on the challenge. You know what I'm saying? He's in shape. You know what I'm saying? He's a leader on that bench. You know what I'm saying? But you know, if we can replace that with another young athletic guard that could push the ball up off the floor and give us pace, you know what I'm saying? And then also bring us in a starter at the 3 spot where we don't have one yet, even though RJ is doing his good job. But if RJ can go back to his normal spot, RJ game would take off even further. So, you know, it's a 50-50 thing with me. I think it helps the team, you know, and then we got young guys. Sooner or later, you got to move some of these other guys out the way, man.
Copy. Trippy, same question headed your way, then throw it over to Foxy and then Phil.
So in this package for D Rose, it's Crowder. Who else is in it?
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, just to be sure, because
it's the left-handed guy, the fast little quick dude.
Mm-hmm. Cameron Payne.
Cameron Payne. Yeah, Cameron Payne.
I'm gonna be honest. At this point, it doesn't make sense for us. It doesn't make sense for us. And I say this because you have Randle playing how he's playing already. You have Obi being the spark energy that the bench needs and the team needs when things fall flat. By bringing in Crowder, it's okay defensive-wise, but there's no room for him. Because if that was the case, I'm pretty sure the Knicks would have kind of brought Melo back some way, somehow, if there was room for him. It's no room. Then on top of that, with bringing in Cameron Payne, it's like, okay, he had a stunt, but I'd rather have D Rose back up Jalen Brunson because, like I said, overall, we all know the writing's on the wall. Either D Rose or Evan is out of here. If you look at the overall team, we have no successor to take D Rose's spot at this moment. So you keep Rose. When you move on from the other guy, it's really no mix from the other people in that trade. So I wouldn't personally do it. I don't like the trade.
I just
copy.
To me, getting rid of Rose is a mistake.
It just makes no sense right now.
He's such a leader for us. He's such the energy he brings when he comes off the bench. Like you're not just giving up an aging player as they want to put it in the articles, right? I mean, you're giving up a big piece of, to me, the heart of what New York Knicks is over the last couple seasons, right? Mm-hmm. I think what we need for the core of that locker room, it's a mistake, especially for the pieces you're getting back. It's not worth it, period. My bad. Go ahead, Foxy.
Go ahead, Foxy.
I thought Jig is 100% right. Love you, man. Multi things. We just got rid of a career journeyman like Burks and stuff to bring on new career journeymen. You know, I don't want to bring on veterans like that. And I think Jigga is right. Hey, the beauty of Brunson is built-in minutes management for D Rose. So he's playing 34 of them. He's only 14 minutes. D Rose at 14 minutes is a scary dude. If those ankles, he came in 20 pounds lighter, rookie weight. You saw his jumper. Yo, man, 12 points in 10 minutes the other night. D Rose, especially a closing team of Brunson and D Rose, two closers taking the ball. You know what we talk about, the stress points with Randle, and we haven't even gone near hands of stone RJ Barrett in the discussion today. That Rose is a smart thing, and also IQ. IQ is best as an off-ball playmaker. He, when he was best in his rookie year when D Rose penetrated, which is the personification of a Tibbs point guard, a guy who can break down the defense and either goes in to the hole or kicks it out. Well, Quickly had a great rookie year because he was able, shooting form-wise, to catch and shoot. Catch from D Rose penetrating and catch and shoot. Last year it wasn't so great because he was shooting off the dribble. That's not his thing. And he's not a great, we've seen him icing out Cam. We've seen him in love with Obi. He's a great secondary playmaker. So I'd like another year for us to do an assessment because I really think next year may be a prudent move to bring on a second floor general behind Brunson, and his name is Rokas from Europe.
Hocus
Jabocus. Yeah.
Yogabitis.
Yeah. I'll throw it over to Phil right now. I just want to say this type of trade is something that you handled in the off season, not 4 or 5 games into the season. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah. So there's a few points to it. First, like we said earlier, we've been dying for players that actually want to be here, that are willing to put in the blood, sweat, and tears to say, I rep New York and I want to be here, not just for the bag, but because of the city, because of this team, because I believe in this team. And that's Derrick Rose. You got a guy bouncing back from injury, getting into the best shape he's ever been. You hear a lot of players say, oh, I'm in great shape. And you look at him, you're like, nah, bro, you're not. Derrick Rose actually put in that work all offseason to prove that he's ready to play.
Yeah,
Second,
100%.
You have players like Quickly and all them who say that they are becoming the player that they're becoming because of the time that Rose is willing to put into them. So we know our coach isn't necessarily the greatest at actually pouring into the young guys, but you have a player who's willing to pour into the young guys, knowing that it'll eventually be what knocks him out. Why are we going to get rid of that? Why are we going to get rid of the guy that helps us do what we need to do as a team? It just doesn't make much sense. And then lastly, 9 times out of 10, when you hear that a player wants to be traded and that the whole coaching staff is like, yep, let's trade him, that's probably not necessarily a good sign. The fact that Crowder wanted a trade and Phoenix is like, oh, thank God, that's kind of a red flag, 9 times out of 10. And if you look at it, he doesn't necessarily fit into what we're currently building. Even though Payne would be a great, point guard off the bench or whatever, great 6-man, whatever, Crowder is not where we're going with things. Reddish is more so where we're going with things than Payne is. I feel like, than Crowder is. I feel like Crowder and Julius Randle would butt heads. Personality-wise, they're both very short fuses. Now you got 2 of these knuckleheads. I don't think that's a wise decision for us at all. Work with what we got. If something else came in, if it was Cameron Payne, just for something else off the bench and it didn't have Crowder, it didn't have us getting rid of Rose, who's already pouring into our young guys, maybe. But as a package, I think it shoots us in the foot eventually.
Yeah, it messes too much with the chemistry that, I think we're all in agreement that Rose, he's a big part of this team, if not the heart of this team. Zook, any last thoughts on that possible trade scenario? Because I got, we're going to be wrapping up soon. I want to get everybody's just predictions for tonight's game. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, quickly. I guess I'm just not as big of a Rose guy as you guys are. People forget so quickly. He dipped on us. So as much as he wants to be here, I guess it was a second coming because he was on the team in the past and just one day walked off, didn't even tell us where he was going. And then we had to trade him. Another thing, and this actually, Steven brought this up, and it's a reason I would want to trade him. Tibbs came out before this season and says Rose can't play on the ball anymore. IQ runs that second team, and Rose plays off ball. And I agree with you that IQ needs to maybe go back to a little bit off more, insert Cameron Payne. I don't know if just personal preference would be Tibbs to allow him to play on ball, which pushes IQ back off. The major thing about the trade is it's more so like a why. Like, it's really just trading something for something that I don't think we're getting much better or worse. So if we're saying that Derrick Rose has the impact on the young guys, I think there's literally no reason to do it. Like, I don't think we're getting better. I don't think we're getting worse. So why would you trade a guy like Derrick Rose at this point? Like Hector said, 4 games in.
Yep. Yeah, I see it. I see it. So we're gonna be talking just predictions right now. We're gonna be wrapping up soon. Foxy, I want to start off with you. What's your predictions for tonight's game, and then throw it over to Boogie and Trippy, bro?
I think we're gonna lose tonight. I love our Knicks, but we're going against the best defense in the league. We're going against Giannis, and I'm just keeping it real. I love my Knicks, but Milwaukee should win tonight.
Copy. Boogie, same question going your way. What's your thoughts and expectations for tonight's game?
I'm looking for the fight. I want to see how you come out and how you fight, how you perform against a top-notch team, from all the way from the coaching staff all the way down to the last player on our roster. If we come out and fight, you know what I'm saying, that's a winning battle for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking too much at the score. You know, Milwaukee is who they are. They're a championship team, you know what I'm saying? But we trying to come up as a championship, you know, in the future, in our direction. But I'm looking for the fight, man, to see who wants it, who's going to come out there, who's going to go all the way out, and who's not going to try to, you know, change from how we've been playing and try to take the game more into their own hands. I want to see the team continue on being the team, continue on playing, you know what I'm saying, together, having fun, and being there for your teammate. And then also it gives Brunson another opportunity, you know what I'm saying? You saw him the other night, and he won a game last year that we definitely would have lost. With this type game right here, this is another reason why Brunson's here, to help us beat teams that we were unable to beat last year. So I'm looking to see what's happening with the squad more than anything. I don't care too much about winning the loss of this game. I want to see the strength of our team coming together. And it starts tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Copy. Trippy, same question. I love that, J Boog. That's why you J Boogie.
Don't tell nobody. But the last segment, I think, so I come back with a little something. This rap.
I feel you. Trippy, same question going your way, my guy.
Honestly, tonight's game is really the test. This is the true test to see what we got. Personally, I see it going 2 ways. I see the guy that I want out of here the most probably having a crazy game. Like, I see Evan going crazy tonight. And if I don't see that, I have a funny feeling, because I'm going back on old footage that we all like watch, you know, different segment, different players going against the Bucks. If RJ can pick up his slack and do what he's supposed to do, and we get the version of Cam Reddish that lit the Bucks up in that playoff run on the Hawks, this is where that dynamic duo starts today. So it's either Evans going off, or we finally get to see the RJ Cam combo. Like, it's going down tonight.
Yeah.
Copy. Foxy, you always hit it on the head, Foxy. That's why whenever I'm having like tough situations, I gotta call Foxy, because Foxy, he's non-biased. He doesn't, you know, he tells it as it is down the line. But Phil, I want to get your take. Same thing. Throw it over to Zook, and then Jiggaman wrap us up with your takes for tonight's game.
Yeah, I'm an echo Boogie. You know, like, to me, I'm not worried about the L or the W. I'm worried about what we see from our team at the end of this. You know, because game 1, we went toe-to-toe with the Grizzlies, and that was the first actual game, like full-on game of the season, and you started to see our team start to gel towards the end of that. And we've gelled more and more over these next few games. So if you look at the Bucks' last game against the Nets, we're better offensively and defensively than the Nets right now. So as long as Giannis doesn't go for another 43 points like he did against them, I think we still have a chance. Like, it's going to come down to our defense, because I feel like offensively we can hold it up. And if we can stop Giannis, no one else on that team really made an offensive, like, big deal that game outside of Giannis. So if we can shut him down, make the other players work, we have a chance. But I want to see how we gel. And like, you know, Trippy was saying, let's see whether Cam or Fournier earn that spot. I feel like this should be the game where the coaching staff is saying who really wants to be on the starting spot of this team. So L or W, I don't care. I want to see the fight. I want to see down to the wire, us making the Bucks earn every single thing. They've had time to gel. If we can put it to the, you know, put the fire to them, after we're still learning how to gel, I think it says a lot about us.
I got a math algorithm. If we shoot over 36%, we hold them under 36%, and we hit foul shots. We were terrible in foul shooting last year. That can make the difference of us winning and losing.
Yeah, I was about to say it, Foxy, right? If we put ourselves in a position where we hold Giannis under 30 points, come on, let's be real. Those games that Giannis puts up 35 plus points, you get in a W.
Well, you don't care if he makes the 30 points. You just don't want Connaughton like last year or the unknown guys going off.
Exactly. So if we can hold him down and don't let Holiday throw up his 16, 20 points and we put a fight, I agree with everything you guys have said. We should, I mean, perfect world, seeing the RJ Cam like resurgence come to life tonight would be huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and again, I'm okay with, hey, maybe Fournier have his, like Trippy said, but I'm also at the point of I don't even like talk about Evan at this point, right? I'm like, and not like in a hateful way. It's just you're not the future of what we're hoping for this team. Like we all can sit here and say that, right? So 100%. I want to see our core do their thing. We hold Giannis down. You don't let Holiday throw up 20 points, and we fight like we've been fighting. We can walk away with a W. But as long as I see that it's not us losing by 10, 15 points, we lose by 2, 3 points, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No, I feel you, Zook. I'll throw it over to you. But maybe this is the night we need Jay Crowder so he could tackle Giannis into the stands, and both of them are out of the game. But go ahead, Zook. What's your take? What's your predictions for tonight,
out
brother?
to me, and I wanted to make sure I was right, so I went back and I looked it up. We're talking about something that we just did last year. We were hot the 9th game of the season. We walked into Milwaukee and we blew their doors off. We beat them by about 25. I actually remember watching that game.
Yeah.
Yep.
We did what we said. We held Giannis to under 30. Drew got his, but we held Giannis. Interestingly enough, that was a big game from Derrick Rose. I'm looking at it right now. He had 23 points, and he was plus 31 on the box score in 30 minutes. Maybe we don't want him out there for 30 minutes, but Randle.
But that's the thing. We don't need him to be 30 minutes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right? We're not the team that beat them last year. We're better.
Yeah, Tibbs is very much a guy that draws something up on a random Friday night that's playoff-esque defense against Giannis just because he gets off on that. So I could see where other teams, like the Nets, they're not focused on, playing defense against Giannis on a regular season game. Tibbs lives for that. Kind of like Steve Clifford just did, blitzing Brunson off every pick and roll. I could see Tibbs having a good game plan for Giannis tonight and taking this game very seriously.
Make him take outside jumpers.
Yeah.
For me, the only thing I care about, and I'll throw it over to Jay Boogie to close this out. The only thing I care about tonight is seeing Marjan Beauchamp plays. Foxy knows that I've been watching Marjan Beauchamp for over a year.
Good kid.
Good kid, and not just that, we share the same last name. So this is the first time that I'm gonna be able to watch a basketball game and hear my name being called on the screen. I got the new 2K just so I can have my name finally in a video game and not have to worry about a nickname or something like that. So I'm happy. But Jay Boogie, like always, you're the closer. Close us out. Let us know how you feeling, bro, for this season.
Man, I'm in a great spirit for the season, man. Brunson, man. I said it in one of my songs. I'm talking to all the East guards. I bought Jalen from the West. Now he's an East guard. Same number 11, the Rod Strick. Now you're dealing with a squad with a baby pick. I love the fact that Brunson is proving all the doubters wrong. All that he's too short. All that you gave him too much money, and all that man is doing is performing how a guard is supposed to perform. I appreciate you, Brunson, wanting to have your own team. I appreciate you wanting to come to the Knicks, no matter whatever your reason. I don't care. Everybody trying to make because his dad and all that. The man wanted to be his own leader, and right now that's what he's doing. He's taking control, and the thing about him taking control, the other guys that are around him, they're allowing him to, to have that control. And that's real important. Unlike the Kemba Walker thing, and all that, they're allowing that man, the leaders, and take control of our squad. Thank you, Brunson, for coming to the Garden. I look for us to have 45 wins this year. I don't know where we're going to set us or anything, but I look for us to be 45 and 37, switch it around. I look for us, what I'm saying, to start scaring a lot. See, everybody keep talking about who we playing. Sooner or later, you're going to have to realize you're playing against the Knicks with a point guard. Sooner or later, you're going to have to start realize you're playing against RJ that got his money and he got something he want to prove, even though he's in the beginning of the slump. Sooner or later, you're going to have to start realize that Julius might be in mode of being back in that most improved player mode. Sooner or later, you're going to have to realize that Monster Minch is back there and he's holding everything down. Sooner or later, you're going to have to realize that Tom Thibodeau is on his coaching spree. He got his 3-year guarantee. The only way for him to get 5, he need to handle his business in 4. You seen him the other night after the Orlando game. What did he tell him? Yo, I'm watching around the league to make sure we don't fall that far behind. So he's making the proper moves and adjustments, to move forward as an organization. So I love where the team is at. I'm happy, we bounced back off the Spider thing. That's over there. Now I can't wait to see you, Spider. You didn't force your hand. But guess what? We got a team. And when the team is good, guess what? It leads to victories. And we start getting victories, the office, the culture, all that's good. And when all that's good, guess what? The podcast is good. The Twitters is good. Look at the beautiful people in the chat. They beautiful. They good. Everything. We got a beautiful umbrella, and our umbrella stays up in the thunderstorm. We don't never get drenched. We don't get rained on or none of that. We stay dry because, we loyal people, the most respectful, loyal people it is in the league. Everybody be with their team when they up. We be with our team when we down. That's why we going to help the spirit and get it all up, man. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Hope everybody have a beautiful weekend and we enjoy the game tonight. But also be the best you. Don't be nobody else. Be yourself. Like yourself. Appreciate yourself. You wake up in the morning, you wash your face, you brush your teeth. Tell yourself, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're you. I'm glad you're the person that I live inside every day. Be the best you. Treat yourself. Get your family members. Take them out. Tell somebody you ain't told in a long time, I love you. I appreciate you in life. Be the best you. We are orange and blue, but be the best you. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Blessings to all these great men on this show. And Project, appreciate you having me on. You wouldn't make that trade with me in fantasy, but that's all good. I'm here.
Listen, Mike Evans had a good night for me last night. Mike, I was at the bar last night rooting for Mike Evans. But Jay Boogie, we need to get a mic drop graphic for Jay Boogie.
Yes,
Facts.
Add some mic drop. Jigga, take us out, brother.
Yo, appreciate everybody tuning into episode 1 of the Knicks Morning Brew. Catch us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's about to be crazy. Panel, Trippy, J Boog, Zook, Foxy. Appreciate you guys. And I'm going to end it on this note right here. I got to do my first episode with my brother Hector and my brother, like my IRL brother Phil.
Phil.
Hey. Let's go, Knicks. We got this. How you doing?